Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I didn't
Good-
sign up.
It's Gina
Here.
and Susan.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you two troublemakers. It's so nice to see you
Yeah, we're
both.
going to shake things up here.
Ooh.
Here's the agenda. Of course, the backlighting isn't, we should probably face the other way.
We're facing the wrong way, but we're hiding our age.
Yeah.
No, you both look beautiful.
Is that better? Well, sort
A
of.
little. Doesn't make us look any better.
No, that'll take a miracle.
Right
Y'all
now,
are
you
cute.
all have rays of sunshine lighting you from behind. Go
I
with
mean,
it.
you do look a little omnipotent, so right?
I don't know if you all have seen under settings on Zoom. I'm on Zoom all day, every day for my work. And so I found that if you go to settings and then video, you can click on touch up my appearance. And suddenly all of the blemishes and the fine lines, they all disappear. And you can actually adjust the level of touching up of your appearance.
Now you tell
Can
us.
it make me look thinner?
Yeah, I mean,
It looks like I've already done that, Amy.
oh yeah.
I already discovered.
Oh my gosh.
Let me go get the.
I didn't sign up, so that's why my name isn't coming up, I guess, but.
Yeah, because I guess so we're just so you know, Susan, we're gonna be using Zoom polls for the voting. So
Oh.
if you want to just if you want to privately message like myself or
I have my iPad with me. I could sign up. Can I still sign up?
you can if you want. Yeah, I was just gonna say that if you want, you could just use the chat function to say what your vote is on the
Okay.
items.
All right.
So if that's helpful.
Thank you.
Yep.
I can't wait to get into settings. Thank you, Amy.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to get it so that my jowls don't show so much.
Yeah, I
You
want
both look
a
beautiful.
neck job.
That's
my
all I
gosh.
want. That's all I want. I don't want a facelift. I just want a neck lift.
But I tell you, camera placement can work wonders too. Like if you have a laptop and you're using the camera, put some books under it just to lift the lens up, and then suddenly it looks better. I'm so self-conscious about it because I'm on Zoom all the time, and so I've learned all these little tricks how to fool everyone.
I use Zoom a lot too with old friends, but they just see me as I am. So
That's more authentic and honest.
but they're all old too. So
It's very hard. It's hard to hide age. You can hide little things, but the tempus fugit bit you can't hide.
Okay.
Should we mute so that
Yeah, if you want, it's up to you. I mean, we'll probably ask everybody to mute as soon as we get into the business.
yeah, I can make you some, but it's probably stronger than you like, but
I'll add water.
yeah, I'll get, well, I have one that's not so strong.
So we're just gonna wait maybe another 2 minutes and then we'll start. I'm running a tight ship today, guys. We're gonna be definitely done at noon. tight ship.
Very happy to hear that.
It is Saturday. We are going to be done at noon.
A record for the league, huh?
Well, we're definitely gonna
Lindsay,
try. Yeah.
this is Judy. I am up at Bread and Roses, so I am just listening to the meeting.
Okay.
I haven't figured out how to vote or anything. So anyway, Judy Galizzi. I'm
Okay.
here,
Way to
Okay.
be there,
only
Judy.
on my phone.
Man, Judy,
Only on
you
my
are.
phone.
I'm gonna. If I can. Oh,
Anyway, I vote for.
I just renamed you, Judy, so I know which one you are. So.
Hi, Lindsay. It's Amy. Also, I'm going to be on for about the first half hour, but then I'm giving a voting presentation for some partners. So also I sent my votes to by email.
Through again.
Voting
just
yes.
please.
Okay.
But as long as that's on the record, I'm voting yes. But I'm sorry, I can't stay the whole time.
Sweet. Okay, cool. All right, y'all, it is 10:05. I would like to request that everybody mute. Thank you, Amy, for also saying that it does improve audio for everybody as well if we can mute. I am going to open the annual meeting for the 501c3. And just so you all know, obviously this year is a little bit different. We're going to be voting on merging the 501c3 with the 501c4. So technically there's 2 annual meetings today, but like I said, we are going to be moving right along. Obviously there will be opportunities to, ask questions, and that sort of thing, but I am going to keep it moving so that we can, be respectful of everyone's time. So here is the agenda. I do want to make sure that we have 15 members because that is per our bylaws what we need to have a quorum. Let's see, we have 31. And I believe, Susan, you did a check last night, right, of active members who signed up?
Yep, I checked to make sure everyone is active.
Okay, cool.
Lindsay,
Hey, Tom.
hi. Am I correct? You said you were starting with the C3 meeting, but
No, I'm starting with the C4 meeting.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. It is on the previous slide. We are starting with the C4 meeting, so
Okay.
thanks. Okay. So it looks like we do have at least 15 members to meet our quorum. This meeting is being recorded so that we can also have accurate notes. So the first thing I'd like to do is adopt the order of business. Susan will put up the poll. The order of business is just our agenda. So in case you need a reminder, what we're going to do is we're going to vote to adopt the agenda. Our new business is the 501c3, 501c4 merger. That's the agenda for the C4 meeting today. And we'd like to vote to adopt the order of business or the agenda. So if you could launch that. Okay, cool.
Lindsay,
Yes.
you are not following Robert's Rules of Order or Parliamentary Procedure, is that correct? It's okay.
Well, we do need a motion. I'm so sorry.
We don't have, I don't think, is it in our bylaws that we must follow Robert's rules? Because if it's not, we don't need a motion.
I believe that it's in our bylaws that we do follow Robert's rules.
Okay,
but I'm
then
not sure.
I move that we vote to adopt the order of business. And we'll need a second.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you.
Need a
Sorry.
I second, excuse me.
Okay.
Stacy.
Great. All right. So we have the poll up. I'm so sorry. I haven't had a full cup of coffee. Thank you for pointing that out, Amy. I appreciate it. We do have a second. If you would like to adopt the order of business, please vote yes. If you would not like to, please vote no. Okay. All right, we have 27 folks who have voted and it unanimously passes. So thank you all. All right. So we will move forward. Oh, shoot. I don't know why I did not put this in here. Okay. Why am I missing this? I apologize. So basically the next order of business. Okay, so the new business, we'll go back to the only agenda item that's on new business is the 501c4 and the 501c3 merger. We have been sending out emails to everyone to let you all know that the board has basically recommended that we merge both the 501c4 and the 501c3. And you all should have gotten a notice via constant contact via email. And so if everyone is okay with moving forward with this new business item of merging the 501c4 and the 501c3, I would like, we need a motion and we need a second. Unless there's any discussion. Or well, I guess we have to like.
You move first and then you ask
Yeah,
if there's.
and then there's discussion. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gina?
I do have a question. How I have read the notes that you've sent or that have been sent.
Yes.
But I really don't understand how we can go from a 501c to a 501c3. I really do not understand that because we have to normally, our education fund, which is the 3, goes to the state. So how does this work? Are we divorcing ourselves from the state or?
So that's a great question, Gina. Thank you. So we have our own 501c3. The League of Women Voters of the St. Petersburg area has its own 501c3. This was actually precipitated by the state asking us to create our own C3 because we had been getting so many grants that it became administratively burdensome to the state.
Okay.
So we started our own 501c3 18 months ago. And so during this process, you know, technically a C4 and a C3 are 2 different organizations, right? So,
yes.
So that means there's 2 set of books, there's 2 boards. And so, you know, we have, you know, been working, we've been getting consultation from Tom Carson, who's also on this call. He's helped, you know, over 100 leagues in the United States become C3s because we don't do enough, you know, lobbying to actually meet the threshold to make it so that we would need a C4. So to reduce our administrative burden and to also open us up to, you know, more grants and to make it so that, you know, donations are tax deductible for members as well as your membership can be tax deductible. We're asking that we merge the organizations and just become a C3.
Okay, thank you for the explanation.
Yeah, no problem. Do we have a motion?
I motion to adopt.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, who was the second?
Gina.
Sorry. Gina, cool. Okay, now that we're talking about the merger, thank you, Gina, for your question. That was a great way to segue into this. Is there any other discussion about the merger of the 501c4 and the C3? If not, we can move to voting. Susan, can you launch the poll, please? If you would approve the merger of the C4 and the C3, please vote yes if you approve. Please vote no if you do not. Awesome. It looks like everybody has voted. All right, we've been approved. Thank you, everybody. I really, really appreciate that. So I also want to point out what this now means is that the members of the 501c4, so all of you, will now become members of the C3. However, we do need to vote in the next meeting to make sure that we're admitting the members of the, we actually have to also vote to merge the C4 and the C3 as a part of the C3 meeting. So I apologize that this seems really complicated, but we have a plan, don't worry. Okay. So, seeing as there is no new business or other business, I would like to move to adjourn the 501c4 meeting. We do need a motion to do so.
I just have a question.
Yes.
It's technical, but as I'm imagining all the things you're going to be reporting out on that have happened in the last year technically happened when we were a C4.
Yes.
Would it not be appropriate for those things to be part of the C4 meeting? Or is the logic that because now we voted to become a C3, we're just going to report out as if those things had happened when we were a C3, which we really weren't?
Yes. The second one.
Okay.
I just figured it's easier for us to get this stuff done at the beginning of the meeting. And also because we're merging. Yeah. So I'm sorry that this is like really like.
No apologies. I just wanted to understand.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Amy. Okay. Would anyone like to move to adjourn the C4 meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Okay. And who would like to, and who was that, just to make sure?
Amy Keith.
Amy Keith, who would like to second that motion?
Second, it's Gina.
All right, cool. Okay, now that we have a second motion, can we launch the poll to adjourn the C4 meeting? Okay, it looks like we have an adjourned C4 meeting, which is probably the quickest C4 meeting that has ever happened in the history of any league. So great job, everyone. Okay, let's move on to our C3 meeting. Yay. Okay, great. So we are, okay, cool. So actually, before we do any of this, so first we have to vote to approve the agenda or adopt the order of business. So
I move that we adopt the order of business.
Okay, who would like to second?
Okay, I'm going to keep it yet. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you seconding, Gina?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So let's launch the poll to adopt the order of business.
Lindsay,
Yes.
only the board should vote on this. The other members haven't moved over yet, so it's only the board who are members of the C3 right now.
Gotcha.
And probably only they should make motions as well.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we can do the whole
Okay.
thing.
Okay. All right, this is Amy Keith, and I move to adopt the agenda.
And I second.
Okay. Now we have to actually vote to adopt the merger of the 501c3
did?
with the 501c4. Yes,
Did?
Tom.
The vote was not taken on adopting the order of business.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. All right. So now so the board of the C3 will vote to adopt the order of business.
Okay, I vote yes.
I vote yes.
vote yes.
I vote yes.
Okay, great. So we have adopted the order of business. Okay, so the first order of business for new business will be the merger of the 501c3 and the 501c4. We will need a motion to approve the merger, or to vote on the approval of the merger.
I move to approve the merger.
Gretchen, you can't.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the merger though.
And I will second it.
Okay, so we have a vote to approve the merger. All those in favor of approving the merger of the C3 and the C4, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those
Aye.
opposed? Okay. The motion passes. Now we have to vote to accept the members of the C4 to the C3 as a result of the merger. So please, we will need a motion to accept the members of the C4 to the C3 as a result of the merger. Do I have a motion?
I move, yeah.
Okay. Gina motions. Amy, are you seconding?
Yes, I am seconding.
Okay. All those in favor of accepting the members of the C4 to the C3 as a result of the merger, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Awesome. The motion carries. We now will be able to have the members of the C4 be a part of the C3. Woo! All right. Tom, are we good?
You're good. Good
Okay.
job.
Thank you so much for your help, Tom.
We love you so much, Tom.
You're a great team, so keep up the good work.
Awesome. And for those of you that don't know Tom, Tom has been our pro bono consultant on doing this merger. He is also the husband and is also a member of the LA League, right?
Correct, yes.
And also the husband of the former National League president, Chris Carson. So thank you, Tom, for being up really early, because it's what, 7 o'clock your time, because you're in California.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Try
Tom,
to do it.
That's so funny. This is Remy. I'm new here, but I'm also in LA right now. I'm getting ready to move to Florida in a couple weeks. So we're both early here on the West Coast.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I'll still be around to wrap up any loose ends. So.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Tom.
Okay.
Thank you all so much for your patience during this process. Obviously, we just want to make sure that we're doing it by the books and that everything goes smoothly. So now you can chill for a sec. I'm going to talk about the state of the league. You can sip your coffee and just relax and hear about all the cool things that we've done over the last year. So we have done a lot over the last year. So despite being a non-election year, our voter services team worked hard to provide services and information to Pinellas County voters. This year, the voter guide team revamped the voter guide website and migrated our voter guide to Vote 411. The voter guide team produced 3 voter guides in August and November of 2021 and February of 2022. And now the State League has actually asked our voter guide team to apply their expertise at the state and national levels, which is a really big deal. Our candidate forum team organized and hosted 7 candidate forums, all of which were streamed and posted on social media and YouTube. 2 of the forums were translated for Spanish speakers. COVID-19 did not deter our Get Out the Vote and voter guide efforts. Voter registration volunteers attended 49 events last year where they registered dozens of voters and handed out voting information materials to hundreds of community members to promote voting in local elections. Additionally, our voter registration committee continued to cultivate and maintain relationships with more than 30 community members. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our election protection team. They are working with the Florida Election Protection Coalition to revamp election protection and implement new streamlined programs for other local leagues across the state of Florida. They will continue to organize and operate election protection efforts throughout Pinellas County for the August primary and November general elections. I want to also point out that during the League of Women Voters State Convention, which was last year, our league was awarded the highest honor of Platinum Award for our Democracy Starts at Home program. This campaign was presented at multiple venues. It was presented at the International Social Marketing Association plenary, as its own presentation at the State League's convention, and was accepted to be presented at the Social Marketing Conference in Clearwater and at the US Convention this summer as a caucus. So lots of great stuff going on. Some of our local initiatives and achievements. Our advocacy and education team stayed busy this league year as well. From passing city resolutions to planting a rain garden at the Sanderlin Center, we worked hard to improve our community in different ways. Our sustainability team cultivated new partnerships like the Pinellas Conservation Coalition and continued to support current initiatives like the Solar United Neighbors. The team was awarded a Tampa Bay Estuary Program mini grant to install a demonstration rain garden at the Sanderlin Center. They partnered with Keep Pinellas Beautiful and the Florida Native Plant Society and others to design and install the garden. This demonstration rain garden is a part of a larger campaign to reduce nutrient pollution throughout improvements in sewage and stormwater runoff, which protects our remaining green spaces and promotes clean energy and also affects water quality. The children attending Sanderlin Center and surrounding schools will be able to learn about water quality and environmental stewardship using the rain garden. The food politics team provided opportunities for members in the community to engage in safe ways during the pandemic. They quickly utilized and integrated different technology. This year, they held 5 digital dining events with over 100 unique participants and 4 partners and updated their website with robust content. The team supported the establishment of the Food Policy Council of St. Petersburg and became a permanent member with the principal role of community engagement. This helped form a strong relationship with City Council member Gina Driscoll for future food policy initiatives. COVID-19 attrition didn't impact the food politics team. They saw their membership double this year. During the 2021 legislative session, the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact team was extremely active. They wrote Florida legislators and their staff weekly with information about National Popular Vote to help educate and demystify the concept. Additionally, the team published 13 op-eds throughout Florida. They partnered with local law schools to educate current law students about the constitutionality of NPV. This will help them as they are hired and or elected to governmental positions. At Stetson University, the team spoke with the American Constitution Society chapter about National Popular Vote this past March. Our social justice team worked diligently to pass the resolution to declare racism a public health crisis in the city of St. Pete, making it the first Florida city to do so. The team has taken this effort to the county level. Dr. Lindsay Grove was asked to present her work at the resolution, on the resolution at the Network for Public Health Law webinar. At the end of 2021, the social justice team supported the passage of the structural racism study of St. Petersburg and its recommendations. During COVID-19, our team continued the social justice discussion club, reading How to Be an Anti-Racist and One Person, No Vote. The team also applied for the Tampa Bay Equity Incubator program as an organizational participant. This program will help assess LWVSPA's DEI efforts, policies, and procedures and provide training for members. Stacy Croto, the co-chair of the team, was asked to join a state-level DEI task force as well. As you know, I am an infrastructure and operations person, so I do want to talk a little bit about our operational achievements. This year was dedicated to exploring the merger of our C4 and C3. We worked with national expert Tom Carson to understand the ramifications. This led to our board recommending the merger and our membership voting on it at the annual meeting, which just literally happened. Our meeting, our office was still in use during COVID-19. And we installed cabinets, we organized, And we continued to make it available when it was needed for our teams. This year, we lost our operations manager, Julia Sharp, but we were able to hire Susan Dixon as our new communications and administrative specialist. So thank you so much, Susan. We're so happy to have you. I just want to say that this past league year has been challenging. Many of us were recovering from an eventful 2020 and still navigating a world that is reeling from COVID-19. We adapted and provided opportunities for our members and for the community. We are continuing to think about how to be better civic servants to our community and innovate our practices. Even though this is my last term as your president, I am so excited to see the trajectory of our league in the coming years. We have an amazing cadre of brilliant minds and passionate hearts moving our organization forward and continuing our long legacy of empowering voters and defending democracy. So I hope you all feel very accomplished in all the things that have been done in the past year. I think we've been extremely resilient as an organization during COVID-19 and also during a time where our country has really been struggling with, a hyper-partisan environment and people feeling, feeling like their voices aren't heard. So I hope you all feel that you are a part of, the movement to address those things. So, and I just want to say thank you all for allowing me to be your president for the last 3 years. It's been the honor, honestly, of my life. I have absolutely enjoyed and loved being the president of this wonderful organization and being surrounded by so many amazing leaders and volunteers and just people in our community. So yeah. All right, on to the whole thing is my favorite part. This whole thing is my favorite part. But we have some pretty significant awards to give away this year. And I am really excited to be able to, talk about the people that are going to get these awards today. So first of all, Mary Ellen Gordon, you got the Making Democracy Work Award. I just want to say a few words. And also I have a couple of kind words actually a lot of kind words, to be completely honest. I got a lot of people saying stuff about Mary Ellen Gordon today. So first of all, Mary Ellen has been a member of the St. Petersburg chapter since 2017. If you don't know Mary Ellen, I'm shocked. I mean, maybe if you're a new member, you probably haven't met Mary Ellen, but you probably will because Mary Ellen is everywhere and she's extremely active. And she's been active since she joined the league as a voter services chair and as a volunteer. She's also served on our board as a director. Mary Ellen dove into league activities as soon as she joined and has transformed our community relationships and outreach as well. Without her dedication to partnership building, the league would not have the trust and credibility it currently holds with many of our harder to reach communities and neighborhoods in St. Petersburg. She embodies the mission of our organization, empowering voters and defending democracy. Mary Ellen used her talents as a journalist to embed herself throughout the community. For example, she worked with local churches, food pantries, and other human services focused organizations serving the community during the pandemic to make sure that voter information was included in materials that were being handed out. We are indebted to her for her community connection work. She has touched a lot of lives. I'm sure you all have heard of her work working specifically with returning citizens and helping connect them with services in the community. She did that individually with folks, which is incredible to me. And she has made an immeasurable impact on voting rights and voting empowerment. She has made an impression on both league members and community leaders. Mary Ellen's passion for voter rights is contagious, says Heidi Davis. She works tirelessly to build community relationships that open doors for us to do good work in Pinellas County. I always enjoy working events with Mary Ellen. Judy Galizzi says, Mary Ellen is amazingly talented in enlisting community partners in our efforts to expand voting rights to all. She is well known and respected in the Black community of St. Petersburg through her outreach efforts. It is a delight to work with her registering and educating voters at events. She has a wonderful ability to engage people in conversation about voting and elections and how important their individual vote can be. She is a special source of inspiration to continue the fight for voting rights for all. Beatrice Farrell, who is the executive director of Deuces Live, says, Mary Ellen puts in the work. She is what every community needs, someone who asks, what can I do to support you, and follows through. Mary Ellen, as one of Mary Ellen's voter services co-chairs, I, Caitlin Constantine, had the privilege of working alongside her as she led our team of superstar voter registration volunteers and built partnerships with lots of local organizations, including several with whom we'd never partnered with before. Her efforts played a key role in helping voter services team continue to establish ourselves as the go-to for everything related to voting in St. Pete. Plus, her passion for the arts and supporting local artists inspired her to bring a uniquely artsy St. Pete twist to some of our initiatives, most famously with that gorgeous pro-mail voting mural on the exterior of Enoch Davis Rec Center. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should. Mary Ellen, thank you so much for your leadership, your passion, and your energy. St. Pete is lucky to have you. There's a lot of other ones on here. I want to let you all know that I've included all of them in our annual report. So, and I will be sending the annual report out to everybody. It is 48 pages, y'all. So I've been working really hard to put that together. So I just want to say, Mary Ellen, you absolutely deserve this award. Thank you so much for all that you do. And, you know, we are very, very lucky to have you as a league member. So claps. Yay. And if you're crying,
thank you, everyone. You made my non-waterproof mascara run.
Mission accomplished. I was just gonna say, if you're not crying, I've not done my job. So thank you so much, Mary Ellen. We love you so much. You're amazing.
You're welcome. I'm proud to be part of this chapter, right? I mean, it's a group effort, and everyone in our voter services team and people on our board are really well respected in the community, and it makes the work easier. So thank you so much. And after our event, I'm heading to 22 Food Hall. If any other league members want to join me, you're invited for a power builder brunch with the community that we were invited to. So yeah, so that's it. Just show up. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. It's really, really made my year.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary Ellen. We love you. All right. So we have a second award that we'd like to give out. And that is to Miss Amy Weintraub for the Virginia Burnside Award for long-term service to the League of Women Voters. Again, this is a person, if you don't know Amy Weintraub, I'm shocked, because Amy is everywhere. And also she's our membership chair. So if you don't know her, you must be living under a rock. But Amy Weintraub also joined the St. Petersburg chapter. So she joined in 2016 and quickly started working on reproductive rights initiatives and helping with administrative support for our organization. She was one of the founding organizers of the Women's March in 2017, which helped recruit many of the league members and leaders of today's league, including myself. And I know there are many of you who also joined the league right after the Women's March as well. Her ability to recognize and cultivate leaders in our organization is unprecedented. Many of us can trace our trajectory in this organization back to our interactions with Amy. This has been instrumental in her efforts as a member and chair of the Nominating Committee. When Amy is not on the reproductive rights front lines, she is working behind the scenes to help support the infrastructure of our organization. She successfully led our media and publicity team, then transitioned to membership. She has started membership retention and recruitment initiatives to help our members feel welcome and connected. Amy is an incredibly hardworking, passionate, and empathetic leader. She has provided many of us with the skills and knowledge necessary to be better advocates and citizens. She's also extremely generous with her time, talent, and treasures. She has donated her home to the league for many events, including the holiday party and strategic planning. It is my great pleasure that I honor her work and service to our organization with this award, named for the first woman to be elected to the St. Petersburg City Council and the first woman to be elected to a municipal office south of the Mason-Dixon, Virginia Burnside. She was a suffragist and league member, and Amy perfectly embodies the determination and dedication of those who fought for suffrage and continued the league's mission. Here are some kind words that people had to say about Miss Amy Weintraub. I've worked with Amy now in 2 different committees. Amy is a strong leader, she's dependable, and she's a pleasure to work with. I would probably not be volunteering with the league as much as I do if it had not been for Amy. Her enthusiasm is contagious, and that's from Beth Settle. I would not be a member of the St. Petersburg Area League if it were not for Amy, who encouraged me several years ago to join the fight for reproductive justice as a member of the League of Women, the League Reproductive Justice Group that she initiated. Soon after I joined, under her leadership as a demonstration for reproductive rights, we marched silently through downtown St. Pete in the Handmaid's Tale red capes during lunch hour. This is just one example of the many demonstrations, including marches attended by thousands, that she has led in the fight for reproductive justice. As well as being a super organizer, she is the best at leading chants with her bullhorn. She has been a major source of inspiration for me and others over the years to carry on the fight in the face of daunting opposition. And that is from Judy Galizzi, who we also love very much. Amy's service and commitment to the league has been unwavering. She has always welcomed. She has a welcoming smile and kind, thoughtful words for new members and old. She is always willing to lend a helping hand. Her event planning is to be admired and replicated. Really, she should write a tutorial. She engages members in a way that they understand she cares about them, their concerns, and the issues. She inspires me with her dedication to reproductive healthcare work and her infectious verve for reproductive rights issues. I have appreciated her mentorship immensely, and she has a tremendous impact on the kind of leader I am today. And that is from Stacy Croto. Like many league members, I found my way into the league through Amy Weintraub. I showed up at meetings for the reproductive rights and media and publicity groups, and within weeks, she had me leading workshops, helping people craft letters to the editor and speaking to elected officials about crisis pregnancy centers. The fact that I am far from the only one whose league story begins with Amy is a testament to Amy's gifts as a leader, as a talent scout, and as an organizer and activist. Her tireless efforts with functional action teams like media and publicity, membership, and nominating committees have played a huge role in keeping the league active, fresh, and vital. She brings so much energy and passion to her activism, and our community is so much better because of her. Amy, thank you for all you have done for the league, for our community, and for our state. And that's from Caitlin Constantine. There are lots more on here. But again, these are all also in the annual report. Thank you so much, Amy. We love you so much. Are you crying?
Oh, well, I'm very moved. And I'll tell you, everything, I mean, this is like, it's like parenting in some ways. Everything you give and you give to the league, the thing is I get it all back. I've said to many of you multiple times, being in the league is my favorite thing about living in St. Petersburg. When I moved here in 2015 and I quickly became a member within 6 months, it changed my life. I instantly had, I found my people, I found my friends, and I built a network such that I was able to get a really good job because I gained, credibility as a newcomer to the state through my league volunteering. And it has paid off so socially, psychologically, professionally, et cetera. So it is my privilege to be here with you. And but all those things that folks said, I mean, I love each of those people are my dear, dear friends. And I'm so grateful and privileged to be working with them. So thank you all so very much. And this is a big honor. And I'm very moved. Thank you. And thank you so much, Lindsay.
Of course. Amy's the reason that I'm here. So I absolutely echo all of those sentiments. So and I will tell you, again, like every year, there are so many awards that we could give out, because there are a lot of people, and again, that are just like Amy and just like Mary Ellen, who have given so much to our organization. But you both are truly just wonderful examples of, league leadership and dedication to our community. So thank you both so much for your work and for your time and commitment to our organization. We love you very much. And I'm not crying, I'm just getting over a cold. If you can't tell by my voice. Okay. I also, before I move on for this, we've been honoring our Rockstar volunteers all year, actually. And so I do want to just point out some of our, but before I do that, we'll talk about some of our long-term members, but I am going to also honor our Rockstar volunteers. But I also want to say happy 10-year anniversary to folks, including Susan Holderness, Paul Glenn, Jack and Ruth McCullough, Kathy Rome, Beth Fountain, and Rachel Garofalo. For those folks that have been here for 11 to 19 years, we got a bunch of them. Gina, who's also on this call, as well as Susan, Karen Cole, who's a former president, also our former immigration team lead, Julie Kessel, who currently co-leads our food politics team. Yeah, we've got, I think this is a great example of how many people really stick around as well. Our folks who have been around for a long time, Sydney Schallenberger, if you guys don't know Sydney, she's always attending our events. She's wonderful. She works with the Business and Professional Women organization of Pinellas. Ruth Behrens, who also does a lot for us. So thank you to everybody who's been with us for almost 30 years. And then our folks who have been with us for 30 plus. I mean, Marty, it's your 30 plus year anniversary, which is incredible. I do also want to say, unfortunately, and in memoriam, Mary Berglund just recently passed away. And I can send folks some information on her memorial service, but Mary Berglund has been with the League for a very long time and was an active member for a long time too. And she has been really wonderful about checking in and, so I just want to just sort of pause and kind of send, loving and comforting thoughts to her and to her family. But, thank you to all of you who have been a part of our League for 30 plus years. I mean, that's incredible. I can't wait for my name to be on that list. So thank you all. And I hope that, we all end up on that 30 plus year list. Our Rockstar volunteers. Some of these names you might be familiar with. And we have a lot of them. We were trying to make sure that we're recognizing our volunteers throughout the year. So these are the folks that were recognized throughout the year for their work, whether it was on voter services, whether it was for their work in reproductive rights, food politics, voter guide. So thank you to all of our Rockstar volunteers for all the work that you did throughout this year. Okay, y'all. Now that we have all these feel-good emotions and vibes going on right now, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the budget. All right, Gina.
So exciting. Thanks, Lindsay. Do you have my slides or do I need to share them?
I do have your slides. I can stop sharing and share those.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So we're just going to start with a preliminary overview of the closeout for 21-22. This is a combination of the C3 and C4 budgets. And the fiscal year just ended less than a month ago, so there might be some coding. That should be the first slide, I think, Lindsay.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay, don't worry about it. So you can go over to the third one. So like I said, the fiscal year just ended less than a month ago, so we might still have some recoding, and hopefully all the receipts are in, but these numbers might change a little bit, but probably not too much. So as you can see, our revenue was below what we anticipated, but so were expenses. So this all kind of like nearly came out in the wash. We had fewer expenses. We had less revenue than anticipated due to, I would say, partially that we lost our fundraising chair, and so the fundraising committee went kind of dormant. There were still a lot of efforts put forward, and I think that we can certainly build on those for next year, but we didn't have as much revenue in fundraising or in our membership. So we have kind of like been a little bit more conservative for next year. Fewer expenses in programs, operations. We had some savings in because we had the time between when Julia left and when Susan came on board. So we were under on expenses. We received a grant from, well, we're the fiscal sponsor for the food politics grant. So that's where the fiscal sponsor activity came in. And then we did see some decent performance in the T-Row price account. So like on paper, our revenue was pretty good. So you can go to the next slide, Lindsay. This is just to show you like what were the percentages of the budget actuals by category. So grant reimbursements and member dues make up the majority of our revenue for last year. And then operations were a significant portion of our expenditures, and also PMP. And next slide, please. This is just some more detail on the revenue side. We did not, I think there were a lot of reasons that membership was down. I think that membership organizations nationwide are having challenges due to COVID and in-person and things like that. Contributions, we almost hit our mark, which was very exciting. Grant reimbursements, we were over because we still had some revenue that came in from the state to close out the ed fund that we had there, since we don't need them to sponsor our C3 funds anymore. No meeting revenue, and then fundraising, like I said, was we had some big plans, and I think having the loss of the leadership in the committee impacted that significantly. Next slide, please. This is expenditures. Like I said, PMP was less than expected due to membership. Voter services slightly over. Grant projects was mostly due to the rain garden, a little bit under on other programs is related to like local meetings, the Florida convention, etc. Pretty even on rent and utilities, and then a little under on office supplies and marketing and fundraising. So since we brought in less revenue, but we also spent less money than we thought we were going to. So overall, not the worst picture. Next slide. The year ended well, like I said, but most of the profit is due to that fiscal sponsor grant, as well as the closeout of the ed fund. We do receive, I think, 10% to sponsor that grant. So that shows up in the 22-23 budget. Like I said, we were below expectations in some area, which was offset by expenses. We've been conservative about projections for next year and hoping to reestablish the fundraising committee. The T-Row price portfolio helps our bottom line, but we've seen some market losses in the last few months due to the volatility of the stock market, but hopefully that will stabilize. Next slide. So this is just an overview of the budget. You received kind of like a memo and a version of the budget, and I don't believe there's one thing that has changed. Is just it's not anything about totals. It's a matter of like where it was placed in a line item, and I'll tell you where that is. But so we are really we try to be really conservative for next year. So like, you know, we bring in more money, we can spend more money. But given the fact that we're having like some pretty significant board transition, and that Lindsay led a lot of our grant writing efforts, we did not want to like put on the new board a really aggressive fundraising expectations, and we really wanted to be like more conservative about membership based on like what happened last year. And so you can see like it's pretty flat, a little bit less in revenue than last year. Our expenses are up from last year, but they are not necessarily, they're not up from these are the actuals that they're increased from. So I think our expenses for last year that we originally budgeted were in the 80s. So we've got the PMP expenses always match, excuse me, whatever we project for membership. And then up in programs, we haven't seen a lot of spending lately from the action teams, but I think maybe as people go back to more in-person events, we tried to budget for that. Like we still had to be conservative just because our revenue projections are conservative. Operations is increased a little bit, and I'll talk about that more. Marketing, fundraising, a little decreased. And then the net revenue is impacted because of the fiscal sponsor activity, but it's not really impacting like cash flow or anything like that. Next slide, please. So these are the actuals from the fiscal year that just ended based on what we put in the budget. As you can see, like I said, we've been very conservative in what we think we're going to have revenue for. That other line is mostly the 10% that we get from the fiscal sponsor grant, and then a little bit that we have for, I believe, Susan's hours for the Tampa Bay Estuary Program grant. Next slide. Voter services it's an election year. I think, you know, if we have more funds, we can spend more money. Grant projects is related to the spending for the Rain Garden grant and for so sorry, I'm trying to find the detail on that. And then, spending from like if we receive new grants of any sort. Community action is for the like sustainability, food politics, etc. Annual meeting, we budgeted $500. Local meetings is for like when we register to like go to the Collard Greens event and we pay our way, etc. National and Florida meetings is up a lot because the national convention is really expensive. And so we basically budgeted for one person to go in person and then a few people to attend virtually. If more people want to attend, we'll see what we can do. But like when we first took a stab at it, it was like almost $5,000 to send more people. And so we had to make some like tough choices in this budget. And like I said, if our revenue expectations exceed what we put in our conservative budget, then we can do more. But like we just didn't want to we are proposing a budget with like about $5,600 loss, which is primarily related to receiving the grant from the estuary program in the 21-22 fiscal year and being primarily expended in the 22-23 year. But you know, like we didn't want to make that loss any bigger. So and then other programs is usually we make a donation to the state ed fund. The board can decide whether they do or do not want to do that. Next slide. So this is just an overview of operations. Up a little bit for our staff position because we will anticipate have somebody for 12 months. So the total on this area is the same as what I sent you, except for I had put the accountant in bank and other fees, and our bookkeeper had pulled it out. So I just wanted to kind of like mirror that. So basically those fees are for preparing our 990s, and we have to do two since we have to keep two sets of books probably until the end of this fiscal year. Even though we merged, like we've already carried things over into this year, and we have to like shut down bank accounts, and there's a lot of administrative stuff that has to happen there. Rent is flat. I think we might be able to also see some savings in that area because that includes sales tax, and we can probably be exempt from that. There's small increases in telephone and insurance. Office supplies, we spent a lot of money there last year comparatively to like what we usually spend. So $1,500 is like more in line with historical performance. And bank and other fees includes like the QuickBooks subscription for the C3 and the C4, you know, some fees that we have to be able to do like direct pay, etc. Next slide. And then pretty flat expenses here for marketing and fundraising for the website. Membership is like some incentives for people who renew at a higher level, some mailings, advertising, and PR is like Facebook and Google ads, things like that. Fundraising expenses are related to like printing, and then some fees that are associated with the Run Sign Up website that we've used for some of our appeals before. Next slide. Is there not a next slide? Okay, never mind. I'm like, I thought there was. I made it up, y'all. Okay, so that is kind of the overall picture of what's going on. A very captivating presentation. I'm sure you all are like wishing I would continue to go on. But any questions? I didn't get any questions via email. So we need a motion to approve the budget, but I'm also happy to answer any questions.
Any question? Well, let's make a motion and then we can have a discussion. So would anyone like to move to adopt the 2022-2023 budget?
So moved.
Oh, sorry.
Mary Ellen, would you like to second?
I'll second. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any discussion on the budget? Is there any questions, that sort of thing?
I have a question. I'm not really sure if it's for Gina per se, but I'm just wondering, is it, I don't know if bad is the right word. Do we need a fundraising committee? Has that just been difficult for us to sustain, or?
I mean, I think it has been difficult to sustain. There's been some like over the couple of years that I've been treasurer, there have been different leadership that has not, I think people just haven't had really the capacity. And, honestly, Lindsay has done the lion's share of the work on fundraising. She's written almost all of the grant applications. She's kind of written the letters for the annual appeal. We have had, I think there's been some coordinate, she's kind of done almost all the work on Century for a Century. So I think if she wants to continue to do that, that's her prerogative, but I don't know, I didn't want to sign anybody up for that. So, I mean, I think that's probably like a conversation that the new board needs to have about like how they want to approach that, and whether a fundraising committee is like viable and sustainable. So I don't really know the answer, but I think, someone needs to be in charge of it, but I don't know who that person is. And so we wanted to be like really conservative, given that like I didn't want to like say, haha, you're supposed to raise $13,000 or something like that. So I think that that's a conversation that we can have in transition. And like if anybody's interested in fundraising and not necessarily even leading it, like maybe let the volunteer services folks know, because if we do have a group of people that are here for it, like I do think it is a lot of work. Lindsay, I don't know if you want to speak to that at all.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I really did want to do now that I'm stepping off of the board is to, really think more broadly about doing better recruitment for the fundraising. Mm-hmm. Just because, we did have a wonderful fundraising chair, but, it became too much for her, and she ended up having to prioritize, her family and her work. So, and so I'm hoping, by stepping down, I will have some more time to dedicate to doing more fundraising, especially, having done, a lot of the grants. But again, a lot of people join the league because they want to get involved in issues, even though obviously we need folks to help us with our infrastructure stuff. So I'm hoping that we can do some more recruitment in the fundraising area. So. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay, oh, thanks, Susie. If there are no other questions, let's vote. We do have a motion to approve and a second. Susan, can you launch the poll, please? If you would like to adopt the 2022-2023 budget, please vote yes. If you do not, please vote no. Okay. We have a unanimous yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of your work on this, Gina. I know that this is your last year as well as treasurer, so thank you so much for all of your work. You have done so much for our league as treasurer. I know a lot of people don't realize the amount of work that goes into doing this job, and I'm excited for Sue to take over. And oh, you didn't get the poll, Alma? If you want to just put your vote in the chat, that works. I'm so sorry for some reason you didn't get the poll. But anyway, I just thank you so much, Gina. You've been incredible. It's been wonderful to work with you. And for you go above and beyond, like helping us put together, financial procedures, making sure that we're above board. You have done so much as treasurer for our league. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciated it. And it's fun to be an operations person and help make all of this, behind the scenes stuff happen. So appreciate it.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so the bylaws. So I do want to make sure that everyone, okay, so the bylaws is an interesting part of our agenda because the bylaws that we sent out were actually for the 501c3. So all of the changes that were made in the bylaws were actually already approved by the C3 board, but we did make sure to send out the bylaws to everybody so you had an idea of what changes were happening with the bylaws. So we actually don't have to vote on the bylaws this year. We'll obviously have to vote on bylaws next year if there are any changes. I, again, will be sending out the annual report, which has all of the updated, has the budget, has the updated bylaws so that you can see them. The biggest changes that happened for our bylaws was including language necessary to be a C3. So we had to add, clauses about, that we're nonpartisan and that we're a C3, all that good stuff. So I will be sending out information about the updated bylaws. You should have gotten information. They were included in our annual meeting packet, as well as there was an email sent out 6 weeks ahead of the annual meeting. So at least you all could see what was being changed. So moving on, we're going to vote on our program. So for the program this year, we obviously held program planning in February. We have 5 teams this year, which I know for, we've lost healthcare and education, but, we have, these are our most active teams. These are the ones that have really been the most active the past couple of years. So I think if anything, it gives us a lot more focused attention on these teams. It also gives our members, hopefully it doesn't overwhelm them with the amount of choices that they have for ways that they can volunteer with our league. Membership did vote back in February to bring this to the annual meeting for membership to vote on. So this is our proposed program of voter services, of course, sustainability, food politics, national popular vote, interstate compact, and social justice. So would anyone like to move to adopt the 2022-23 program? I need a motion and a second, and then we can have discussion.
I'll motion to accept.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, Gretchen seconded. Any discussion about the proposed program?
This is Amy as a membership chair. I just would like to say that I know that many of us are looking forward to the reopening of events and things like that we had pre-2020. And we really, I mean, if you all who were members then can think back, some weeks we had so many things going on with all of our teams that we had to pick what we weren't going to do because there were so many activities.
Yeah.
And I miss that. I think our members do. I think we'll be much more successful with retention if we get back to those in-person events as soon as we possibly can. That's one thing with fewer action teams like are on the proposed program that we're really going to be depending on these teams to offer member events and public events. So it is a little bit, I totally support the fact that we're going down to some core teams who have proved success with a variety of things. But I do hope that they will start having membership events soon. I mean, some of them already are. It's just a matter of us getting the word out, especially to new members or people who've joined since COVID, to make sure that they know they're going on and how they can engage. Just a small comment.
Yeah, no, thank you for saying that, Amy. I think we're all looking forward to getting back together. You know, so much of the league is very social. And, you know, like you said, Amy, you know, when you first moved here, you know, being able to connect with people and find your people, right, was a huge benefit of joining the league. And so I'm hoping that, you know, as we come out of, you know, COVID isolation, that we can start connecting again in person. So, well, if there's no other discussion, let's vote. Susan, can you launch the poll, please? If you would like to approve the annual program for the 2022-23 year, please vote yes. If you don't want to, please vote no. All right. Awesome. We have unanimously approved the annual program. Okay. Next is our slate. Okay. So I don't know, Keely, if you want to talk a little bit about the slate and the process. Awesome. Thanks.
Yes. Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah. Hi, everybody. For those of you that I might not have had the chance to meet yet, my name is Keely LaForme. I was chair of the nominating committee this past year. We are a 5-person committee made up of myself. And then we had Beata Marston, Amy Weintraub, Betsy Wells, and Ken Reed as our fantastic team this year. So I thought it looked like there were a couple new folks maybe on this meeting today as well. So I thought I'd just real quick run through what the process looked like, you know, how the nominating committee works on behalf of the membership, just quick background in case anybody needs it. So we begin soliciting nominations, either folks who want to nominate others or folks who want to nominate themselves for the open board positions, usually about in the fall. And then the committee goes through the process of reaching out to everybody, getting a sense for what people's interest is in becoming involved, if they are interested in stepping into board leadership potentially, and then going through an interview process where members of the committee interview all of the folks who expressed interest. And then we come back together as a committee to discuss, deliberate, and then present the slate to you, which is then, as you can see, we'll vote on it during the annual meeting every year. So we are very pleased to present this slate this year. All this information about all of the candidates, everyone's background, some biographical information, the terms that they're running for that you can see here. This information was all sent out to the membership, I believe in the voter a few times. So thank you to everybody who engaged in the process and everybody who took a look at all of that information. We appreciate your involvement in all of that. So I think we can jump into the voting unless anybody has any questions about any of that. I think I've got 2 slides here, so I think we can start with the board, and then we'll also be voting on members for the nominating committee for next year, which I should note. So the nominating committee is made up of 3 members who are voted on by the membership, and then the board will appoint 2 board members to also be on the committee the following year. So if we
sorry, only have one poll item. Is there 2 separate ones that we need to have? So I can do that.
So we actually need to vote on each member individually. So if we can, yeah, thank you.
I'll put that up.
No, it's a little onerous, but appreciate you bearing with me.
Just say the names, I'll throw them up.
Okay, great. So again, I just want to make sure, any questions from anyone?
And Lindsay, Keely, isn't it the case that people can be nominated from the floor? I mean, so that you should hold off on making polls until you know if there are any nominations from the floor, so you can put those names in too.
Yes.
I was talking to Susan, just so she knows.
Okay.
Are there any nominations from the floor?
It might be best to do that per office.
Okay.
Just to keep
All right. Well, then let's start with the office of the president. The nominating committee has put forth Gretchen Johnson, but are there any nominations from the floor? Okay.
Do you, and sorry, can I interrupt
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick?
go for it, go for it.
Just total pregnancy brain here. Should I be doing this as chair of the nominating committee, or is this?
No,
I
you
just
go
want to make
right.
sure I'm not.
If you want to do it, Keely, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. So the next position we've put forth, Jackie Cease as our candidate for first vice president. Are there any nominations from the floor for the first vice president position? Nope. Okay. We'll move on. We've put forth Amy Keith for second vice president. Are there any other nominations from the floor for the second vice president role? Okay. Moving on, for treasurer, we put forth Sue Castleman for the, thanks, Stacy. Put forth Sue Castleman for the treasurer position. Are there any other nominations for treasurer from the floor? Okay.
And Keely, I think you can do all of the board directors at one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So for the board director positions, we've put forth Susie Patterson, Laura Turley, Janice Drinkwine, and Stacy Croto. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Okay. And then we can, I guess quickly, if we want to go to the next slide, we can do the same for the nominating committee as well. So we're putting forth Beata Marston to chair the nominating committee for the 2022-23 term. Any other nominations from the floor? Okay. And then for the 2 member positions for the committee, putting forth Robin Davidoff and Lindsay Grove. Any other nominations from the floor? Okay, great. Well, thank you, everyone. So I think we can, if we want to go back to the board slide, we'll move forward with the voting then. So this will be for each individual position, a yes/no vote to accept the nominee. So we can start with Gretchen Johnson for the position of president.
We have 27 votes. I think 27 out of 30. So, and it was unanimous.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So let's move on then to the next vote. Jackie Assis for first vice president.
Okay, we have 27 out of 27, unanimous, yes.
Okay, great. Next up, Amy Keith for second vice president.
We have 28 out of 28 voting yes for Amy as second vice president.
Next vote, Sue Castleman for treasurer.
We have 27 out of 27, or yes.
Next, Susie Patterson for director.
Can I move that we do all of the board president, the board members, board directors together and with a voice vote?
Do I? Is that, do I
I'm
say
making
yes
a
to that, or?
I'm making a motion that we do a voice vote for the four board members.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay. All right. And we're using a voice vote, so we will not need polls for this. All those in favor of voting for Susie Patterson, Laura Turley, Janice Drinkwine, and Stacy Croto as directors, please signify by verbally saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Motion approves, and Susie, Laura, Janice, and Stacy have been elected as board directors for the next league year. And now we'll move to the nominating committee.
Yes, so nominating committee, if we can vote on Beata Marston for the chair position.
Is this a voice vote?
I think we're doing, oh, here we go. We're doing a poll, Gina. Thanks for the question.
It takes me a minute to type them in. These ones aren't pre-prepared.
We have 26 out of 26 voting yes for Beata Marston for chair of the nominating committee.
I'd like to move that we do the other two nominating committee members as a voice vote.
Okay. Do we have a second to do a voice vote for the nominating members?
I
Second.
second.
A second.
Okay. All those in favor of electing Robin Davidoff and Lindsay Grove as members for the nominating committee for the next year, please signify by verbally saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. All right. We now have a new nominating committee.
Great.
Awesome.
Yay.
Yay.
Great. Well, I just want to say, thank you so much, everyone, for engaging in the process. Just wanted to give a quick thank you to the nominating committee, Beata, Amy, Betsy, Ken. You guys are fantastic. Really appreciate everything that they did this year to make this work during, some ongoing virtual COVID, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. And then just wanted to a quick shout out, if you're interested in serving on the board or the nominating committee in the future, please do let someone from the nominating committee know. As I said earlier, we go through a process of seeking nominations and all of that, but please, if you have any interest, again, either in the board or serving on the nominating committee, which I think I did for about 5 years, I found it to be incredibly gratifying and a great way to be involved. So please do reach out to the committee if you have interest in either of those things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keely. I just want to say Keely chaired this while also going through her first pregnancy. So kudos to Keely for doing this and also being a long-term member of our nominating committee. It's really important committee. You get to meet potential new leadership and help cultivate those folks. And of course, it's a great way to meet folks. And, I just thank you all so much for your hard work. Keely, Beata, Amy, Betsy, Ken, I know it's not an easy process, but you all have done fantastic work. So thank you so much for your dedication and commitment. Okay. Well, we already adopted the slate, so I'm going to move on from that. So we're actually at the end of the meeting, you guys, the end of the meeting, and it is 11:26. I told you I'd keep this ship tight today. So, did somebody say something? Oh, okay. All right. If there is nothing else, we can move to adjourn the meeting, guys. And before we do, I do just want to say thank you all. Again, I am so proud to have served as your president for the last 3 years. It's been honestly the honor of my life to be able to serve such an amazing organization full of awesome people. I will obviously still be very involved. I can't get away from the league. And I just want to thank all of the board members that I've served with. You all are amazing. Really appreciate, you helping me. It's been really a transformational process, has not been easy. And I'm just really looking forward to being behind the scenes and helping, with this transition and helping support the league in different ways. So thank you all so much. I again, thank you.
Hey, let's go off.
Thank you.
Lindsay, a big round of applause.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all so much. I love you so much. You all are definitely my group of people. So appreciate it.